Did you know that nearly 40% of adults over 65 will not live to see their 80th birthday? But why? Have you ever looked around at people your age and thought, why do some of us glow while others just fade? Some seem to lose themselves slowly. The light in their eyes dims, their posture slouches, their days blur together. They're still alive, but they've stopped living. And then, there are the others, the ones in their late 70s or even 80s, walking with purpose, laughing easily, flirting with life like it still owes them something. What's their secret? It's not money. It's not luck. And it's not some magical gene that skipped over you. No, it's something far quieter. Something hidden inside your daily choices, your cells, and your beliefs about aging. And if we don't talk about it now, you might find yourself walking straight into a future of decline instead of design. Let me ask you something personal. Do you feel like you're slowly disappearing from your own life? Because if you do, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Most people over 60 have no idea what's really aging them, and why so many won't live past 80, but the first villain is one that almost no one sees coming: chronic inflammation. There's a word for it in medical research: inflammaging. A term first coined at the University of Bologna, and now widely accepted in aging science. It means your immune system, which once fought off colds and scrapes, has turned into a slow-burning fire. It's quietly attacking your joints, brain, heart, and even your libido. And you might not even feel it happening. John, one of my patients, 72 years old, tough guy, retired Army, came to me saying, "Doc, I just feel like I'm wearing a heavy coat all the time. I'm here but dulled." That's inflammation. Not a sickness you can point to, but a slow erosion of vitality, and it feeds on something we do every single day: sitting still. A 2018 Harvard study showed that adults over 60 who were sedentary for more than 8 hours a day had a 59% higher risk of dying early, not from one big disease, but from 1,000 tiny breakdowns. Your heart slows, your muscles shrink, your blood thickens. And yes, your brain fogs. So tell me honestly, how long do you sit in one spot each day without moving? An hour? 3? 8? If that made you pause, good. Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming your future. Because here's the truth. You were never meant to rust in place. Your joints, made to stretch. Your blood, meant to flow. Your mind, designed to adapt. The moment you stop moving, you send your body a message: we're shutting down. But the good news? You can send a new message. One that says, I still want to be here, fully. Let me ask you something else. When was the last time you stood up just to stretch? Not because you had to, but because you wanted to. When was the last time you danced, or swayed to music in your kitchen, or walked just to feel the air? Drop it in the comments. Tell me. What's one way you can move your body today? Even if it's just circling your ankles, or rolling your shoulders right now. Every micro movement matters. Because inflammation isn't your destiny, it's a reaction. And reactions can be retrained. We're going to get into the deeper layers: hormones, vitality, even sexual health. But for now, I want you to feel this one thing. You are not too old to change the story. You are not stuck. You just need to begin. Not with a marathon, but with a message. I'm not done yet. Now let's talk about the next piece of the puzzle. The one nobody tells you is draining your energy and your desire to even try. Up next, the forgotten hormone decline after 50, and why testosterone, estrogen, and oxytocin aren't just sex hormones. They're your brain, heart, and confidence regulators. But before we go there, tell me in the comments, where in your body do you feel older lately? Your knees? Your back? Your thoughts? Let's name it. Because when we name it, we can reclaim it, and you're not alone anymore. We're in this together. What if I told you, the reason you feel like you're running on half your battery, the reason your motivation flickers, your confidence wavers, your desire disappears, is not in your mind. It's in your hormones. Let's get real about something most doctors either skip over or awkwardly whisper through in 10 seconds. After 50, both men and women experience a steep hormonal drop. And it's not just about sex drive, it's about your life force. For men, it's testosterone. For women, it's estrogen, progesterone, and yes, also testosterone. And these aren't just reproductive chemicals. They are biological fire starters. They fuel your bone strength, mental clarity, muscle mass, mood, memory, and yes, your ability to feel confident and connected. But here's the twist. Most people over 60 walk around thinking, this is just what getting older feels like. They blame the fatigue on age. They chalk up their foggy thinking to senior moments. They stop initiating intimacy, not because they don't want it, but because something inside feels switched off. That something is hormonal depletion. Let me introduce you to Susan, one of my favorite patients. She's 68, used to be a ballroom dance instructor, and told me during her first appointment, Dr. Laura, I feel invisible. Not just to men, to myself. She wasn't depressed, she wasn't sick. Her labs showed exactly what I suspected. Postmenopausal estrogen had plummeted, testosterone was barely detectable, and so was her zest. We adjusted her nutrition, began gentle hormone support, and within 3 months she came in wearing lipstick, walking taller, and said, I woke up wanting to put music on again. That's the power of hormonal balance. For men, the signs can be just as subtle and just as devastating. Low testosterone can look like poor sleep, loss of morning erections, increased belly fat, brain fog, decreased motivation, irritability, a sense of emotional flatness. Sound familiar? Tom, 76, came to me after trying everything for his energy slump. When we ran his free testosterone, it was in the bottom 10th percentile. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, I just want to feel like a man again. After 6 weeks of targeted exercise, zinc, vitamin D3 and some very gentle testosterone-boosting herbs, he came back and told me, Doc, I fixed the squeaky door, took my dog to the park and flirted with the neighbor. All in one day. It wasn't about trying to be 25 again, it was about feeling alive in the body he had now. And before you think, well, that's nice, but it's not for me, let me share this. A 2017 Mayo Clinic study found that older adults who addressed even modest hormone imbalances reported better sleep, better memory, and better relationships, especially with themselves. So let's pause. Let me ask you, what do you miss most about how you used to feel? Not just physically, but emotionally. That inner strength. That swagger. That spark. Drop it in the comments. Let's open the door together. Not to the past, but to the version of you that's still in there. Because here's the truth. You don't need to suffer in silence. You don't need to accept a slow dimming of your life. Hormones aren't shameful, they're essential. And when we ignore them, we pay for it in every corner of our lives. This isn't about popping pills. It's about understanding your body and giving it back what time has gently taken away. Would you like to know the top 3 ways to naturally support testosterone and estrogen after 60? Let me know below. If enough of you ask, I'll do a full video on it, with recipes, routines, and simple daily habits. But for now, just remember this. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You're simply running low on the fuel your body was never meant to live without. Let's refill the tank, gently, wisely, and together. Next, we're going to explore something that most people hide, even from themselves, sexual health, and how it's not just about pleasure, but longevity, immunity, and even preventing heart disease and memory loss. But before that, I want to hear from you. What's one question you've never asked your doctor about hormones but always wanted to? Drop it below. You're in a safe space here. No shame, just real talk. Let's stop pretending. Sex doesn't disappear with age. Desire doesn't pack its bags the moment you turn 60. But somewhere along the line, many of you were told, either directly or silently, this part of your life is over. Maybe no one said it outright, but they didn't ask anymore. Doctors stopped bringing it up. TV ads showed passion only between 20-somethings. And slowly, you began to believe what wasn't true. I guess I'm not supposed to want this anymore. That belief is not just wrong, it's harmful, because your sexuality isn't about youth or image or performance. It's about vitality, it's about connection, and it's about keeping your brain, your heart, and your entire body alive. A 2020 study from Harvard Medical School confirmed something powerful. Older adults who remained sexually active, even occasionally, had lower rates of heart disease, improved cognitive function, reduced depression, and stronger immunity. Let me say it plainly: sex is medicine, whether it's with a partner or through self-pleasure. Yes, I said it, self-pleasure. Masturbation. That word might make some of you tense up or look away, but take a breath with me, right now. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Because what we're talking about is not taboo, it's self-care. One of my patients, Frank, 74, a former police officer, once told me with tears in his eyes, "Dr. Laura, I haven't touched myself in years. Not because I don't want to, I just thought I wasn't supposed to anymore." I looked him in the eye and said, "Frank, your body hasn't expired. It's waiting for you to come home to it." Within 3 months of reconnecting with his sensual self, gently, slowly, his blood pressure dropped, his sleep improved, and he started playing guitar again. Do you know what happens when you engage in sexual touch, even solo? You release testosterone, which supports bone strength and muscle tone. You boost oxytocin, the love hormone, which eases anxiety and improves mood. You flood your body with endorphins, nature's painkillers. Blood flow increases, supporting erectile function, bladder control, and even memory. It's like a neural symphony of wellness, triggered by something we were taught to ignore. And no, this isn't about trying to perform. You don't need to chase firework, you just need to show up. With kindness and curiosity. I want to ask you something personal. When was the last time you touched yourself not out of duty or shame, but with tenderness? When was the last time you let your body show you that it's still capable of joy? Comment below, anonymously if you like. What holds you back? Is it pain, shame, privacy? A belief you inherited from someone else? Let's talk about it. No judgment, just truth. Because here's what I know. Sexual health is not optional. It's not a nice to have if things are going well. It's a vital sign, as real and important as your blood pressure or cholesterol. And when we ignore it, we start to shrink, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Not because we're old, but because we've been taught to dim the light that keeps us truly alive. Let me tell you about Anna, 69, widowed for over a decade. She thought she was done with her body, until we talked. She started slow, exploring with lotion and a guided breath. One day she said, "I cried the first time I felt pleasure again. Because I remembered who I was." That's not just touching skin. That's touching soul. If this is resonating with you, tell me in the comments, what would it mean for you to feel sexually alive again? Not to perform, not to impress, just to feel. Because this is where healing begins. Not in a pill or a perfect partner, but in the quiet moment where you say, "I still deserve pleasure. I still deserve to feel human." And you do. Now, are you ready to go deeper? In the next section, I'll share what happens to your brain, heart, and immune system when you reclaim this part of yourself. Plus, I'll walk you through 3 science-backed techniques to awaken sensation, even if it's been years. But for now, breathe with me. Place your hand on your heart and say this quietly: I am still here. And I still matter. Because you do. Let's be honest. How well did you sleep last night? I'm not asking how long. I'm asking how deeply you rested. Did you wake up feeling restored? Or just less tired? Because here's the truth that too many people over 60 have never been told. Sleep loss is not just frustrating. It's killing us slowly. I know that sounds dramatic. But the science is clear and terrifying. A long-term study from Stanford University tracked adults over 65 and found that those with chronic insomnia had a 33% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. Let that sink in. 1/3 higher. And that's just the beginning. Sleep deprivation increases your risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even depression and sexual dysfunction. Because when you don't sleep, your entire body forgets how to heal. You produce less growth hormone, the same one that repairs your muscles and bones. Your cortisol spikes, keeping your body in a state of chronic stress. And your brain? It struggles to form memories, regulate emotions, or even make basic decisions. Tom, 76 years old, one of my patients you've already met, once told me, "I thought I was losing my mind, but it turns out I was just sleep deprived for years." He had been waking up 5 times a night, no deep REM, no restoration. Once we addressed his sleep, not with pills but with lifestyle strategies and natural tools, his clarity came back. He started reading again, laughing more. He said, "I feel like my brain turned back on." So let me ask you, how often do you wake up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock a.m., and what do you do when you can't fall back asleep? Drop it in the comments. Your pattern might be more common than you think, and we need to talk about it. Now, what causes this sleep disruption in the first place? As we age, several changes happen. Your body produces less melatonin, the sleep hormone. You spend less time in deep sleep where healing happens. You become more sensitive to light, noise, and temperature shifts. And if you've let go of your sexual connection, as we talked about earlier, you're also missing the natural wave of oxytocin and endorphins that help trigger restful sleep. Yes, sexual touch, arousal, and even orgasm can significantly improve sleep quality. Not because it's magic, but because it calms the nervous system, it releases tension, and it tells your brain, "You're safe now. You can let go." One patient of mine, Margaret, 71, was waking up every night from hot flashes and racing thoughts. She said, "Dr. Laura, I haven't slept through the night in 10 years." We worked on cooling her bedroom, adding magnesium glycinate, and gently reintroducing a nightly breathwork and self-massage ritual. 2 weeks later, she told me, "I slept for 6 hours straight, and I didn't wake up in tears." That's healing, not from a pill, but from understanding how the body wants to heal itself, if we let it. So what can you do tonight? Start simple. Here's what I tell my patients. 1. No screens 90 minutes before bed. Your brain is not a phone, it doesn't need backlight. 2. Keep your room cool, around 65 DEGF/18 DEGC. 3. Try 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or a cup of tart cherry juice. Both naturally support melatonin. 4. Do a body scan. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and gently bring awareness from your head to your toes. 5. And yes, consider 10 minutes of gentle self-touch, not for arousal but for connection and calm. So let me ask you this. What's the biggest challenge you face at night? Falling asleep? Staying asleep? Waking up in pain? Comment below. You are not alone, and your struggle is valid. Because you cannot reclaim your health without reclaiming your sleep. Sleep is your reset button, your internal spa, your life-giving medicine. And no, poor sleep is not just part of aging. It's a signal, and it deserves attention. In the next section, we're going to talk about something that might surprise you. Your gut. Yes, your digestive health may be silently aging you from the inside out, and we're going to fix that, together. But for now, tonight, choose rest like your life depends on it, because it does. I want you to imagine something with me. You walk into a room, it smells bad. It's cluttered, you feel tired just standing there. Now imagine living inside that room every day, even though you can't see it. That's your gut, when it's out of balance. And here's the hard truth, most people over 60 are walking around with a gut that's silently poisoning their energy, memory, and immunity. You may not feel it as stomach pain. You might feel it as joint stiffness, low mood, chronic fatigue, or even sexual disinterest. That's not random. Your gut is not just a digestive tube. It's your second brain. It holds over 70% of your immune system. It produces more than 90% of your serotonin, your mood and motivation hormone. And it's deeply connected to inflammation, brain fog, and even hormonal balance. A groundbreaking study from Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital found that disruptions in gut bacteria, called dysbiosis, are directly linked to faster aging, poor sleep, and even Alzheimer's. Let me tell you about George, 75, a retired chemist. He came in with chronic bloating, no appetite, and what he called brain fuzz. He said, "I forget words mid-sentence. My stomach's a mess. I feel old in a way that isn't natural." We tested his gut. his beneficial bacteria were nearly wiped out. He had high markers of leaky gut, where the gut lining becomes porous and allows toxins to enter the bloodstream. We started him on a gut restoration protocol: fiber-rich foods, a high-quality probiotic, and eliminating the biggest culprits: sugar, alcohol, and ultra-processed foods. Within 1 month, he walked in holding a newspaper, said, "I'm reading again, Doc, I'm hungry again." My mind feels like mind. That wasn't magic. That was microbiome repair. Now let's bring this closer to you. Have you noticed more gas, bloating, or unpredictable bathroom habits as you've aged? Have your food sensitivities increased? That's your gut asking for help. Comment below if this sounds familiar, even if it feels a little uncomfortable, because if you don't fix this now, it will show up in places you don't expect. Your joints will ache from inflammatory signals. Your mind will fog because of toxins leaking past the gut barrier. Your immune system will misfire, leading to more infections, allergies, even autoimmune issues, and your libido will quietly die off because your body is too busy fighting inflammation to care about pleasure. So, what can you do starting today? Here's my gut renewal cheat sheet for anyone over 60. 1. Add prebiotics to your plate. Foods like garlic, leeks, onions, and asparagus. These feed your good bacteria like fertilizer for a garden. 2. Take a spore-based probiotic. Look for Bacillus subtilis or coagulans. They survive the stomach acid and reach the colon intact. 3. Ditch sugar and alcohol for 2 weeks, just 2. Watch what happens to your mood, joints, and belly. 4. Sip bone broth or collagen-rich soups. They heal the gut lining and calm inflammation. 5. And yes, touch your belly with love. Massage it gently in circles after meals. Say thank you. This isn't new age fluff. It's neurological communication. The gut-brain axis is real, and when you treat your belly like the emotional, immune, and healing center it is, it rewards you. Margaret, 71, who we talked about earlier, when we added daily warm water with lemon and 10 minutes of belly breathing, her reflux disappeared, her knees stopped aching, and she told me, "I feel like I dropped a decade." So, let me ask you, what's one thing you eat or drink regularly that you know your body doesn't love, but you keep having anyway? Drop it in the comments. And then, ask yourself, what would shift if I let that go? Even for 7 days. Your gut isn't just about digestion, it's about direction. Because when your gut is in chaos, your life often feels that way too. But when it's in harmony, your body starts to remember what thriving feels like. And next, we'll talk about something even deeper than the gut. Something more emotional, more hidden, and often more deadly than any virus or disease: loneliness. Yes, the emotional weight that quietly shortens lifespans. But for now, be gentle with your belly. Feed it like you'd feed someone you love. Because in a very real way, that's exactly what you're doing, let's be honest. When was the last time you truly felt seen? Not just noticed, not just spoken to in passing, but really, deeply seen. Because for many people over 60, there's a silence that settles in, and it's not the peaceful kind. It's the kind that echoes. You stop getting phone calls unless someone needs something. The kids are busy, friends move or pass. Your spouse might be gone, or just emotionally distant, and suddenly, you're eating dinner alone, talking less and wondering, am I slowly disappearing? This is not weakness. This is not drama. This is loneliness. And it's killing more people than most realize. A landmark study from Johns Hopkins University found that chronic loneliness increases your risk of early death by 26%. It's as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let me say that again. Loneliness is as deadly as a pack-a-day habit. And yet, most people don't talk about it, because they think it makes them sound needy, weak, pathetic. But here's the truth. You were wired for connection, not just when you were young, but always. From cradle to grave, your nervous system is hungry for safety, touch, closeness, understanding, and when it doesn't get that, your body starts to shut down. You may notice lower energy, poor sleep, sadness that won't lift, apathy, even for things you once loved, weight changes, memory slipping. This isn't just emotional, this is biochemical collapse. James, 79, one of the most stoic men I've ever met, a former firefighter, sat across from me and said, "Doc, I haven't had a real conversation in 6 weeks, not one. I'm losing my fire."